So yeah, like I was saying, like sometimes like when I'll be going back in the house after that 20 minutes, like that just gives, sometimes you just need that, like you're saying, that little bit of alone time, even if it is just 20 minutes, half an hour a day, where you just you can kind of like reset your mind and like gives you a chance to think, and just gives you, you know, just time, just peace and quiet and a bit of clarity, a bit of serenity to
important,
either think about a lot of stuff or just choose not to think about stuff, where you can just literally just relax your mind, because you've been working or busy all day long, and your mind's just, you know, your mind and body have both been busy all day long, and you just need a break, you know? So it's important that everyone gets that little bit of, you know, that bit of, you know, time for themselves too, you know. So
very important in life.
yeah, you know, all about balance, you know. You have to figure out how to juggle everything, you know, and it's not easy. We're all trying to keep everyone happy and everything else, but we have got to remember that, like you said earlier, one of the key things is keeping ourselves happy, you know. Got to keep ourselves happy too, you know, because that affects how we feel, and also then how we interact and correspond with people on a daily basis, whether it be family, loved ones, work colleagues, friends, or, you know, so yeah.
It's funny how life can change by something you know, by something you do, you choose to do, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny how you meet people, for instance, isn't it, in life, you know. You know, like you don't know who you're going to meet next.
And how it can change your life.
It can, yeah. You know, like when I first met my my ex-wife, you know, before we got married.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to get married to her for one. Do you know what I mean? And when you're younger, you know, I can remember sort of thinking about my future. You know, I was thinking to myself. This is when I was about 10 years old. I was thinking to myself. I was wondering who my wife might be. You know, what she's going to look like. But now I can see who she looked like. You know, because it's gone past. You know, now it's sort of really in the past for me now to think about now my marriage. Do you know what I mean?
Been there, done that.
Yeah. You know, but you don't know who you can bump into. And, you know, when I first met my wife, I met her in a nightclub, and that was it. You know, sort of, you know, before that I was on my own. Do you know what I mean? Living my life as a single person. But then I met her, and then we were madly in love. You know, it's kind of love at first sight, to be honest with you. You know, and then next minute she's having a baby. You know, we're doing things together. Do you know what I mean? We're enjoying our time together. And you know, and then you've given life to another, you know, somebody else, you know.
Definitely.
You know, we had 2 children together, you know, and that's only because we met. That split second, you know, that moment that I decided to go to this place, and she decided to go to the place at the same time, and that's why we met, you know. And sometimes I think to myself that someone planned it for me. You know, from above. I really do, you know, I don't know how you think.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, yeah, things are just meant to happen.
It's quite strange.
I think we've all walking a different path, you know, we've all got, like, you know, I think that everything has multiple outcomes, you know, depending on the path you take and the decisions that you make. You know, it's like, if you had decided 2 days before you were due to get married that you didn't want to get married to your wife, your life would have gone completely different.
Well, I don't know about that actually, because we had children before we got married.
No, but I mean, if you had decided beforehand, there, like 2 days, I'm just saying randomly, like if your life would have changed in a different way, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You know, if you decided, 2 days before, actually, you know what, I don't want to marry you, I don't want to be with you. You know, that would have set off a different.
Well, I think like if we didn't get married,
a different set of events.
If we didn't get married, I didn't get married to her. I think she wouldn't be able to separate from me, basically. You know,
really, and not in the same way. No.
No, you know.
So, but what I'm saying is that, like, is the choices and the decisions in that we make in our lives that have an effect on our lives. You know, both good and bad. You know, so you know. It's about trying to make the right choices, you know, and sometimes it can be hard to make the right choices sometimes, you know, because sometimes we are faced with difficult dilemmas sometimes in life, and sometimes you have to weigh up the lesser of two evils sometimes, you know, as you know, once in a, not very often, but sometimes, and so it's not always easy. Sometimes you're trying to, always trying to do the right thing.
Sometimes you learn from watching other people.
Yeah, true.
You know, you watch and learn by other people's mistakes. You know?
Yeah.
You can do anyway.
Can do, especially, yeah.
You know.
Especially, yeah, definitely. But yeah, life is a journey. Like they say, life is a journey, not a destination. You know, it's a process, and it's about trusting the process. You know, like you said earlier, staying positive, trying to maintain your happiness at all times. You know, and just living life and trying to have an appreciation for life. You know, appreciating that you're alive, and you've got another 24 hours to try to enjoy it, and also to make it better if you don't want to make it better. If it's something that you want to work towards, or something you want to achieve, something you're passionate about, something that inspires you, or what drives you, or whatever, then you've got another 24 hours to do that. You know? So just remember, first thing first, that life is the blessing, and then everything else that comes on top of that is extra. You know. So yeah, make the most of it. You know. And understand that we're all human beings, and we're all going through the same types of shit on a daily basis. Most people go through the same types of shit on a daily basis. We're not that different, you know. We all go through relationships, and we all go through all sorts of different shit in life, whether it be school or work or relationships or just life in general. You know, people, we all go through similar shit. So yeah.
We've got the same dilemmas, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know.
We're all having the human experience, you know. I think all this is, in my opinion, to me, this is just Earth, in my opinion, is just like a place to learn, if that makes sense, you know. I think we're kind of sent here to learn.
It's like a greenhouse, isn't it, when you think about it, you know, like a...
Well, I think we come here to learn. It's a learning experience, you know, and I think the more you learn, the more it helps you in the next phase of life. You know, the next transition. Okay, because like earlier you were saying, talking about death and that, like, you know, coming full circle. Death is obviously a part of life. You know, it's a circle of life, and you know, it's
we're all heading towards death, aren't we?
Every day.
You know, we're all walking towards...
all getting older.
It's kind of like we're walking towards the edge of a cliff, and then we finally jump off of it, you know?
Yeah.
And we have to, you know, we all have to fall off that cliff. At the end of the day, we have to leave this world behind, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And say goodbye to it. And it don't matter what you love, or what you fall in love with, whatever, during your existence, you know, on this planet, you know, what you fall in love with, you've got to leave it all behind. You know? Yeah, it's only temporary, you know.
Everything comes to an end eventually.
Some people think they're going to live 1,000 years or something, but they're not, you know. Time goes very quick.
Very quick.
You know, I'm quite shocked actually right now.
I was going to say, you told me before you should get out, you know.
No, I'm shocked that, you know, I'm 56 already. Do you know what I mean? And I'm shocked that, you know, that time has gone as fast as it's gone. Like, I kind of feel like it's just been 1 year in a funny way, you know, in a weird, peculiar way.
Yeah.
But say, you know, your earlier years, you don't remember anything really, you know, you're not really existing. You are existing, but you don't know you're existing. That's the difference. You know, and I say, you know, like, every year we're learning. You know, then you're 10, you get a bit wiser, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And then you go through, you know, like say some people don't learn. They're all people, and they're pretty dumb. You know, in many ways, you know.
It's funny because someone was breaking it down the other day, right? Someone was breaking it down, and it was like, and it's so true. Anyone, if you sit and listen to it, anyone that's got common sense or a bit of logic knows that it's, you know, it makes complete sense, and it's so true. Like, he was breaking it down, and the way he was breaking it down is that if you're 30 years old, yeah, going back to the whole sleep thing again, if you're 30 years old, right, you spend, let's say you sleep 8 hours a day, you spend 1/3 of your life asleep. So out of the 30 years, you spent 10 hours asleep. That leaves 20 years. And the amount of time that you might spend on a daily basis at school or work or whatever else the case may be, remove all that time, that's a few years as well. And then remove time for all the other stuff that you do as well. Showering, going to the toilet, commuting on a train or a bus or a plane or whatever, and everything else. It's like you remove that, that's another few years. So it's like in reality, you might be 30 years old, but most people are only really like 15 years old, really, in reality. Because they've only actually spent like 15 years of that time living their life, having experiences, gaining information and understanding and wisdom, etc. But they've been here for 30 years, but they've only got 15 years of actually living life and learning and enjoying it, if you see what I mean. 10 years of it they've spent asleep, or almost 10 years of it they spent asleep. And then some of it they spent in school, education, you know what I mean, where they, you know, directed by someone else, taught by someone else what they should, what they should learn, and it's controlled, and etc. And then everything else, time for everything else, showering, shitting, shaving, getting ready, in the bus. It's like in reality you've only been 15 years of that time that you've actually alive doing shit, actually living, experiencing, And it's so true. It's just true. It's just so true. That's just reality, So someone might be 60 years old, and if they spent 1/3 of that asleep, that's already 20 years old. So you're left with 40 years, and you take away, let's say, all that other time, then that's another 10 years almost from school, work, everything else, etc. Another 10 years, and it's, you're left with 30 years out of that time that you've actually lived, actually lived. So, very interesting dynamic, I thought, when I was listening to it, I thought, what a perspective, to me it was a great perspective, good way to look at it, So in reality, we don't actually spend that much time living, actually living and enjoying life and learning, etc. Having, doing what you want to do,
I'd say some people, right, are not intelligent enough to know that they're alive, and they're quite old people as well. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, some young people are intelligent.
Yeah.
Cooking, as I said, is one of the, is one thing that will make you intelligent. I think.
Yeah.
You can cook. That's a life skill, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
And I think there's lots of different life skills out there, isn't there? And the more life skills you learn, the more the more you can cope with life itself. I think. I think. I'm still learning. I'm looking forward to learning one. Next week. I can't wait. I'm really sort of ambitious. I've got a lot of hunger.
Yeah.
Even though I feel that I've experienced life quite a lot, in many different ways, and I've learned a lot in life, yeah. I feel I only know half of it, not even that, do you know what I mean? It's phenomenal life, I think, the things that you have to learn. Nobody's going to know it all.
No.
I mean, some people study plants all their life, don't they? Do you know what I mean? And other people study different things, do you know what I mean? And I think it's great that we got all our different interests, I suppose, in
passions,
life. And sometimes, like I'm interested in everything. In a funny way,
a lot of stuff.
Not everything.
Not everything, but lots of different stuff.
But like I love science. I love everything.
Yeah, me too. I love it. Educational shit.
Physics, history. I never used to like history when I was younger, but I do now. I think you do tend to take more interest in it as you do get older. History,
Yeah.
Well, I think you think when you're born, you've got no future, or you've got no past at all. yet. You're just there on your first day.
Mm.
You know, and then when you're 1 year old, 10 years old, say, you've still got we've still got a bit of a future ahead of you, hopefully, you know. You're not going to die tomorrow, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're quite young. But
Hopefully.
you might, you know, do you know what I mean? You don't know when you're going to
No.
leave this planet.
No, no one.
You know, you could be 1 day old and die and not know nothing.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. Yeah.
You know, and then, like, when you're 20, you know, you've got a past now.
Mm.
Suddenly you've got, like, a past that you can remember.
Yeah.
Like, when you were 10, you can remember when you went, you know, with your friends and there's certain things you can remember. Do you know what I mean? You've got a memory of a history of your own life, in a funny way. But then you start taking interest in the history before you were born.
Yeah.
You know, which is quite interesting, really. You know, actually, you know, and then you're 30, you start taking more interest in, you know, like the history of mankind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, how do we, you know, life itself is phenomenal, if you ask me.
Yes.
You know, oxygen, glass,
Hydrogen.
Everything, you know.
Everything. All
That
the
we've got,
elements.
sand, electricity,
Everything.
you know, and here we are, like magical robots, right, that can talk, that can communicate, you know, and do many things anyway, you know.
Yeah.
We're a miracle machine.
Supercomputers.
We're like miracle machines.
Yeah.
When you think about it, yeah, and we're alive in this life, in this universe that you wouldn't think could exist in the first place, but it does. And we're here to witness it in a funny way, you know, witness.
To bear witness.
Witness that the sun's here.
Yeah.
You know, if I wasn't born, I wouldn't have known the sun was here.
Yeah.
Or the universe. It's only the only reason that the universe exists, actually, to me, is because I was born in it. It wouldn't exist otherwise. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been, you know, I wouldn't have known about it.
Right.
Or learning right now about life itself, you know, because you know, for some reason God put me here. I don't know why, but he did.
And likewise,
He put me here, you know.
I think we all have a purpose, you know. We have a purpose, you know.
It's a very powerful thing, life, isn't it? You know, like the sun, and you know, the moon, everything.
Yeah.
You know, all the little insects, you know, and everything, you know.
Yeah.
They've got a life too.
Mhm.
They wake up and they're trying to get water and everything, you know. And they're looking at the sun as well.
We rely on nature to provide, you know.
Well, we are nature.
We are nature, but we rely on the
nature.
sun, and we rely on the water, the rain. We rely on all these different things to provide, because you know, our crops and etc. Tree, you know, crops and you know, vegetables and fruits and etc. You know. So, yeah. In order to survive, you know, everything is dependent on, you know,
The thing I say, like
the elements, you know.
everything alive gets old, like a tree.
Mm.
Everything alive, you know, ants, everything. They
Yeah.
get old and die. They die.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
All ants get old. They die of old age. They need, you know, their legs start going, you know, and things like that. You know, when they get older.
Mm.
Same as cats, they get old. You know what I mean? Everything gets old.
Mm.
But there's certain things that don't age, like water, sand. You know, they stay exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, you know, that's life.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things that don't age,
Mm.
which is quite strange when you think about it. You know, water stays the same, looks the same every century that goes by, and it will do. You know, I think forever. You know,
Mm.
but with life, I think that's the only thing that kind of hurts me. That you know, it ends in a funny way. You know, you're born to witness it. And then you know, because you're quite intelligent, you know, and you grow up and you realise that you're going to grow old.
Yeah.
learn what you can, but you're going to leave it all behind.
Yeah.
You know, and you leave everything behind that you've ever touched on earth or owned, but do you leave your memories behind, or what you've learned in a funny way? Do you know what I mean? When you take off, you know, from here, you know, that's the question. Do you? I know you probably leave everything you've brought or paid for, whether it's a car or whatever. You leave that behind, but whether, I don't know whether you leave what you've actually learned in life, if you sort of leave it behind.
I guess you can do. I guess it depends on how much kind of, I guess, kind of quote unquote teaching you do, I guess, per se. Because you can like, okay, if you've got kids, you can instill things in your kids, or, you know, whatever, you can educate, you know, you can share knowledge and information with your friends or your loved ones, or, you know. But yeah, I think when you said, when you go, it's about what you leave behind, the memories that you leave behind with people, with each individual person that you encountered during your life. If they're still alive after you pass, then all they've got is the memories they had with you, you know. And obviously whatever else you leave behind too. So if you've become someone who's hugely successful and well known, then obviously you're a lot more remembered by a lot more people. If you see what I mean. You know, there's a lot more people who may know you.
All those people are going to die one day, though.
Yeah, true.
You know?
So eventually the legacy that you have, and that legacy that is left behind with the people who were there, eventually that legacy will fade out within 50 years.
Yeah, I don't, you know, sometimes I sort of think to myself.
It's like, I love hip hop, yeah? But in 50 years time from now, yeah, let's say 50 years time, maybe a little bit longer, rappers like Tupac and all these different rappers who are revered today, like as legends in hip hop or whatever the case may be, they're not going to be talked about in 50 years time.
Probably not, no.
Or 100 years time.
No.
Because the generation of then will have no idea who that person is.
As I say, things move fast.
So things evolve and change quickly, you know. And same goes for other artists too. People that are popular and well known today, in 50 years time, people aren't going to be talking about them, won't know who they are, unless they're an absolute legend who will always go down in history. There's certain people that will always be remembered, but they won't be remembered in the same way as time goes on. You know. So.
But I mean, like when the other side, death,
Yeah.
which is the opposite to life, isn't it? You know. Are we still awake? That's what I want to know.
Intrigues you.
Yeah, you know, are we still awake? You know.
I think yes, but not in the physical sense. You know? I think we're consciousness, you know? Our consciousness lives on, you know, our consciousness, our energy, you know? But not our physical body, you know? We're not our physical body anymore. Our physical shell is gone, and what, you know? That's, you know, whatever, our consciousness is what's left behind, you know? The consciousness that was inhabiting that body, you know? I think, you know? Yeah.
And you live once.
Well, it's that thing of like, if you talk about physics, if you really study, anyone that studies physics and you know anything about the kind of like the laws of like thermodynamics, then it's that thing of energy can't be destroyed kind of thing, you know, energy that transforms kind of thing into something else, you know. So if you believe everything is energy and you also believe people are energy as well, then, you know, when your physical dies, your energy transforms into something else.
It says that somebody said that, right? Like energy never dies.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel knackered and I've got no energy. Do you know what I mean? And then like when I think I'm getting, you know, I know that I'm as every year goes by. You know, I'm coming up to 60 now.
You're feeling the difference.
Well, I'm feeling that I haven't got as much energy as I've got used to.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what we lose, our energy.
Mm.
You know, as we get older.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and you know, you see all people, they're so weak, they find it really tough to move their arm over here, you know.
That's
They've
true.
got no energy left, you know what I mean? It's died,
Yeah.
you know, until they're completely dead,
Yeah.
you know. So it makes me wonder all this, you know, about does energy carry on, you know, or what? What's this all about, really, you know? Because it is phenomenal, you know, universe,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Planets and everything, you know, and we're here.
We're here on Earth.
And, you know, and everyone's scratching their head really. They can't work it out, or they can't really sort of. I don't think anyone knows the answers to the universe. I don't.
There's
You know,
some answers, but not
well,
many.
people you know, they say this happened billions of years ago, whatever. No one. I just sort of think it's a big joke.
No one knows for certain.
It's a joke. Nobody can. You know, this is phenomenal what we're in.
Yeah.
Absolutely breathtaking, you
Exactly.
know. It's like a triple miracle, you know. It's a miracle being born, but the universe itself is another miracle, you know.
Right.
You know. Right. So if I wasn't born, you would have been born, yeah. You would have seen this existence, but I wouldn't have, you know. But, you know, you're witnessing it, I suppose. We're witnessing it. Everyone that's born.
Yeah.
You know?
And all it comes down to is your parents, you know, getting freaky at the right time, and, you know, that's what happened. That was the reality. If your parents had got a freaky 2 hours later, or a day later, you might not be around.
Yeah.
Might have worked out differently, you know. If something had happened in the middle of them getting freaky, and it ended before they got kind of started, kind of thing, you would have never got born, you know. If you know,
No.
let's say they already had a child and decided to get freaky in there, you know, they put their child down to sleep, and all of a sudden their child wakes up, and they gotta, you know, gotta stop to attend, you know, and cover up, and you know, make sure their child's okay, you know, and you know, it might never have happened. You see what I mean? You know, if you get distracted in the middle of it, so funny. Anyway, mate, I think we said quite a lot about life, and you know,
Not enough.
Not enough. I think we'll have to, at some point in the future, we'll have to definitely do maybe a part 2 and 3, maybe. You know, life continued.
There's lots to speak about life, isn't there? Really, you know, lots of different
aspects.
Yeah, there is, seriously.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we did touch on death a little bit, but you know, you go on a lot more about that.
Well, maybe I think we maybe need to do an episode on death then, maybe in the future.
I know,
like
I'll
one.
watch it.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm watching. Nobody likes
well,
talking
no,
about death.
I think there will be some people that watch it, because I think
Nobody likes talking about death.
But it's also just
I think that's the problem. Nobody likes talking about death.
But I think
they like enjoying life. They don't want to talk about death.
Well, I think it's okay to explore the idea of it, because sometimes we're all trying to come to a greater understanding of what is.
Well, I think people need to talk about it.
You know,
you know, I think people. You know,
it's a reality for everything and every human being and every living thing. So it's just it's just acceptance of it, you know. So I think sometimes it's just good to talk about these things sometimes, you know, and everyone to share their own ideas and opinions, and yeah, to have a greater understanding, and you know. So yeah. Anyway, mate, any final words or any final ideas or anything else that you want to share with the people before we wrap it up tonight on you know, tonight's episode that's all about life?
Well, I think life is tough, right, whatever, but it can also be beautiful.
Can do.
You can make it beautiful if you want, you know.
Yeah, you can do. It's up to each and every one of us.
I think it's down to everyone's attitude, really, in life, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And as I said earlier, I think what is important is enjoying the moment and liking who you are, you know.
Yeah,
and
agree with that.
You know, that's what you've got to focus on in life more than anything. I think, you know, aim to be strong in life, I'd say. You know, aim for that one. Make that your aim.
Yeah.
And then I don't think you can go wrong in life, you know, if you aim for that one, you know, look after your health and strength. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, even if you've got £1 million, alright, and you're an old man, and you've got any disease or whatever, or you're not very well, no money's going to cure it in a funny way, you know, or when you die, no money's going to, you know, bring you back. So, you know, money can't
save you.
No.
Yeah.
You know, so life is more important than money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Live and enjoy your life as much as possible. You know, we've all got responsibilities, we've all got shit to handle and take care of and do every day. We've all got shit to do. But try to enjoy your life as much as possible, you know. Try to make the most of every moment as much as possible, you know.
Well, I know that I'm going to enjoy tomorrow.
Yeah, remember we all live on borrowed.
As long as I'm not sick.
Exactly. We all live on borrowed time, and no one knows how long their life is going to be. You know, you want a long life and hope for a long life.
It's not worth worrying about either.
And it's not worth worrying about, but what I'm trying to say is no one really knows, so just enjoy your life as much as you can and do your best, you know, do your best, you know, and, you know.
I think, like, even rich or poor, we're all living in the same boat.
Yeah. Still exist
in
the same world. All have to deal with the same things, you know. Yeah. So yeah. Live and let live and make the most of what you have. Be thankful for the life that you have and try to enjoy it as much as possible. And do unto others, as they always say, that cliche saying, do unto others as you would want them to do to you. You know, just be respectful and, you know, enjoy life.
Yeah, and, you know, like, accept who you are, really. You know, like, I'm not the best looking person in the world, do you know what I mean? I'm not good looking like you, Josh, or anything, you know? You know, but I accept who I am.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and you can't be someone else, you've got to accept who you are.
You've got to accept who you are, and that's it. There's no point trying to worry or change something about it, something you can't change.
I wish I had a smaller nose.
You know, there's lots of things in life that we can't change, you know, that are beyond our choice or our, you know. So, you know, you can't worry about shit you can't change or do anything about. You know, you have to worry and do things, you know, focus on the shit you can do shit about and affect, you know, not things you have no choice over, you know, or nothing you can, you know, something you can't do anything about, you know. Anything that's in the past is done, you know, you can only make shit better, you know, so, yeah. Anyway, mate, I think that's enough from me.
And enough from me.
Anyway, guys, as per usual, we hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Philosophy Podcast once again. Hope you've enjoyed this week's episode called Life. As per usual, like we always say, if you've got any thoughts or any suggestions or any queries or anything else that you guys want to share with us or say to us or whatever, just leave a comment down below, please, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe if you're new to the channel, please, guys, because that obviously helps our channel. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Enjoy your life. Make the most of it. God bless. One love. Good night.